Hey Marcel, hey all of you Flop to Flip Nation people out there. My name is Stephanie Davis and I am here today to shoot a quick video for you guys. Marcel sent me over some questions to answer, so I am going to go ahead and get started answering those questions. The first question says, tell us about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been wholesaling, and when did you start your blog? Let's see. Well, my name, again, is Stephanie Davis. I am from Tampa, Florida. I've lived in Tampa for the last 15 years, I think. I started wholesaling. I did my very first wholesale deal in October of, I think it was October 16th of 2006. I still remember. I made $2,000 on that deal, and I remember, still to this day, I remember sitting in the parking lot of Pure Title, looking at my $2,000 check, and going, holy crap, that was the easiest $2,000 I ever made. So I've been wholesaling since 2006. My blog, I started my blog shortly after I closed that very first wholesale deal. So my blog kind of chronicles my journey from just getting started and through the years and until up until now. So second question, why are you so passionate about helping others become successful? Actually, when I was just getting started and I was writing in my blog and I was just kind of learning about wholesaling, one of the ways, I didn't have a whole lot of money to spend on courses and boot camps. I spent what I could, but money was pretty tight. So one of the ways that was instrumental in me learning about wholesaling and kind of figuring out how it all worked was I would go to real estate forums. One in particular was flippinghomes.com. I mean, I was in that forum like every single day, sometimes all day, unfortunately, when I should have been out looking for deals. But, if I ever had a question, I would go into the forum and ask, and there were always people that were willing to help me out. And when I got started, I kind of hit a really rough patch. I quit my job. I had done a couple of deals, and then I quit my job thinking that it was going to be, I was going to start making all of this money because it was so easy. And I ended up going 6 months. I had no income coming in. I didn't do a deal for 6 months. And during that time, I would go into the forum. I'd also be writing on my blog and, just asking people questions and seeking advice. And having that support of those people, a lot of these people were strangers. I ended up getting to know them, and a lot of these people I'm still friends with today. But it really, it meant a lot to me, and it really helped me to keep going, to have the support of these people. They're out there in cyberspace, but people just giving me encouragement and, giving me advice, maybe to try and tweak my approach or do this or do that. So that's really stuck with me, over these last 5 years, because I know what it's like when you're just getting started and you're struggling and you have all these questions and, maybe you don't have a whole lot of money to spend on educational products or coaching. So I just kind of look at it as, a lot of the videos that I do and the educational things that I do for people, it's kind of like paying it forward. Again, I really appreciated all of those people who helped me out when I was just getting started, and kind of what I do with my blog now and the videos and stuff that I do. It's kind of like paying it forward. So next question, why did you choose to focus on REOs when you were just getting started? I did, actually, my first couple of wholesale deals were with private sellers. They were not REOs. But then I switched over shortly, maybe a couple months into my wholesaling career to REOs for a couple of reasons. Number one, I didn't have any or very little money for marketing and marketing for leads. So I thought that it would be more economical to get my leads on the MLS because they were free. So that was one reason. Another reason was I'm in Tampa. We got hit really hard when the bubble burst. We had and we still have a ton of REO inventory on the market. So it kind of seemed like perfect timing for me, because there just started all of this inventory started coming on the market. So that was another reason. Another reason is that my mentor, Steve Cook, who is also one of Marcel's mentors, that is how he got started in wholesaling, and he did a lot of his business with bank-owned properties. And I pretty much followed. I went to, I bought his course, went to his boot camps. That flippinghomes.com, that's actually his forum. So he was always on there helping me out, and I'm now actually being coached by him. But that's how he got started, and that's what he taught. So I knew that it worked, and I had seen other people that he had taught the same methods to. I watched them, go from not doing any deals to being very successful with REOs. So, those factors all combined are kind of why I decided to stick with REOs as opposed to going after like private seller deals. So. Let's see. Question number 4 is, what is your best strategy for picking up buyers? And actually, I can't. I have a couple of them, Marcel. So sorry, I'm going to give you 2 instead of 1. The first one would be definitely bandit signs. I've probably found, actually by far more buyers using bandit signs than anything else. They're a pain in the neck to put out if you have to put them out yourself. They are a pain to put out, but they work. And the signs I use, the buyers that I find them putting out signs advertising deals that I have for sale. And I know there's probably a lot of people watching this who don't have any deals of their own to sell. What I have always done, when I was just getting started, and still today, if I don't have any of my own deals to sell, but I want to pick up some new buyers, I'll go find some other wholesalers and I'll market deals for them. I'll market their deals for them. And I just put out signs. I make them, I get the blank, just white corrugated plastic signs, and I write on them with marker. Keep them very simple. I usually put something like cheap house, 25,000 or 25K, then I put cash only, and then my phone number. And I'll usually, like if I'm marketing a deal, I'll put 25 to 30. I've put out actually 100 signs for one property before. Obviously, the more signs you put out, the more calls you're going to get, but those have worked phenomenally for me for picking up new cash buyers. And what happens, people call on the sign, and I give them the information about the property, obviously, but also when I have them on the phone, I ask them, what type of deals are you looking for? What part of town? How many properties are you looking to buy? Are you a cash buyer? And then I take all of their information and put it into my buyers list database. So that, like I said, has worked phenomenally for me. I've found more buyers by far over the years using bandit signs than anything else. A close second would be, I call it cyber stalking, or just stalking people basically, but I do a lot of research in the tax records. I'll find out, I'll track stuff on the MLS, stuff that's sold for cash in the neighborhoods that I focus in on, and once it hits the tax records, it usually takes like 3 weeks to a month, if someone purchases a property before their name shows up in the tax records. But I'll find out who's buying these properties, who's paying cash for properties right now, and sometimes I'll drive by the house to see if there's a sign in the front yard. A lot of times, if an investor just purchased the property, either they'll be there rehabbing it, or they'll have a sign in the front yard, a for rent sign, or a for sale sign. So I'll find them that way. Or a lot of times what you can do, you don't even have to leave the comfort of your office or your home or whatever, is, if the person who is buying the properties, if the name is an LLC, or it doesn't even have to be an LLC. Sometimes, if it's just the person's name, you can go into Google and put in, the LLC name, or if it's just a person's name. And a lot of times you can find people's phone numbers that way. I've done that a lot. If I keep seeing the same LLC pop up in the tax records, and I can see that this person is clearly purchasing a lot of properties for cash right now, I'll find them. I'll Google them. I'll, drive to some of their properties and just go knock on the door, introduce myself, or like I said, if there's a sign there, I'll just give them a call. And what do I say to them? I just tell them I'm a wholesaler. I've been getting some great deals. are you looking for more properties in this area? If so, I can give you a call when I get one. So those two strategies put together, the bandit signs and then just kind of stalking people, those for me, I don't really need to do anything else. I mean, in people, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, so hopefully I'm not rambling too much, but you know, don't think that, I think a lot of beginners are under the impression that you have to have this big, huge buyers list and you need to have like 10 bazillion people on your list, and that's not true. You know, normally I work with a handful of investors at a time. I like to find people who have a bunch of cash, they're looking to buy a whole bunch of properties, and I just keep feeding them deals until they're out of cash or until they don't want any more houses. You know, it only takes one investor like that for you to, you know, to get going if you're wholesaling. If you can find one buyer like that and really get to know what they're looking for, you know, you don't need to have this list of 9 million buyers to get going. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So using the bandit signs, like I said, and then just kind of doing research online and then finding out, you know, finding out who the buyers are, the active cash buyers, and just going straight to them, introducing myself, and you know, adding them to my buyers list. Those are my two strategies that I use and find very effective. And then the last question here, what advice would you give to the people out there who are struggling to get their first deal under their belt? Well, coming from someone who, like I said, I ran into a really tough patch when I, you know, was just getting started. I quit my job. I didn't have any money coming in. 6 months I went, and I mean, and I was busting my butt. I was out there putting signs out at 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have a lot of cash to market, so I was doing stuff like printing up flyers and putting them at gas stations and bulletin boards, post offices, wherever I could put them. And I was really busting my butt for 6 months nonstop with no deals. So the one piece of advice that I would give to you if you're just getting started and you're struggling, or you know, you've been going for a while and you haven't gotten a deal, is to, and I know this sounds cliche, but you really just have to persevere and hang in there and keep going and just commit to, and this was the thing I think for me that maybe is a little different from other people who, you know, say they're going to get started in wholesaling and then, you know, they just kind of fizzle out. I made the decision and I made a commitment to myself, and I just said, I am going to make this work. I don't care how long I have to work or how hard I have to work or what I have to do, but I'm going to make this work and I'm going to be successful at it. And I really didn't give myself another option. Like I said, I quit my job, probably not the smartest decision that I've ever made, but I wasn't wishy-washy. I was 100%, I'm doing this, I'm going to keep working, keep educating myself, keep going until it works. And, you know, eventually it did. Was it easy? No. But, you know, if you just commit 100% to, you know, to making it happen and just hanging in there until you start doing deals, you're eventually going to start doing deals. The other thing, too, is that you really want to surround yourself and take advice from people who are successful doing what you're trying to do, which would be wholesaling. You know, we all know that there's a lot of naysayers out there. This can include realtors or, you know, maybe even your friends and family who don't really believe in what you're doing or they don't think it works. It's very important to not take your advice from those people, particularly when you're just getting started, because it's, you know, it's difficult anyway. You don't need people telling you that or putting doubts in your mind, because you know, you already probably have some there. You know, surround yourself with people like, you know, for all of you who are already following Marcel, obviously, you know, he's a great example. He's super successful at what he's doing. Surround yourself with people like that. Take advice from people like that who aren't going to tell you that it can't be done, because obviously it can. Might take a little work or a lot of work, but you know, if you hang in there and you just commit yourself to, you know, keep going no matter what, you'll eventually start doing deals. I promise you that you will. So anyway, Marcel, thank you for giving me the opportunity to record this video for your followers, and for all of you out there, if you have any questions for me, you can leave them below. I think Marcel's going to post this on his blog. I'm always happy to answer questions if you have any. So anyway, thanks again, Marcel. Take care, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.